Peace and blessings. Mark the Messenger back on the video. This one's gonna be about 7 signs God's to protect you from a bad relationship. These are signs that I wish I took heed to when I was younger. So I'm gonna give you guys, sharing my experiences, what I went through. And also, this is a requested video. If you guys have any requested videos you want me to do, just leave a comment below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Number 1 is you'll notice red flags early on, and they'll cause confusion. All right. Whenever you start to notice the red flags early on, like if you get like a lot of red flags, no one's perfect. So obviously, but if you're getting too many red flags, that is a sign from God. That's a check engine light, just like in your car. If you keep on going along with that relationship, just like if you keep on driving your car when the engine light's on, the car is gonna stop. The car is gonna blow up. The engine's gonna blow up. Same thing with that relationship. Now it's gonna lead to sorrow, it's gonna lead to heartbreak, a betrayal. Maybe you might have a soul tie with that person, because remember, guys, a soul tie is not only you having sex with someone, it's also when you talking to someone every day, talking to them on the phone all the time, hanging out with them. So the more you're attached to that person, the more you're attached to that soul, it's going to be harder to break free. So if you keep on getting these red flags, and the more it keeps on getting added up, now you're like a fool getting led to the slaughter, because God is warning you. And God, when those red flags, guys, that's God warning you. That's just God warning you, guys. And people, the spirit that's in them is gonna eventually manifest in the physical. It's gonna manifest outside. So if they're evil, they got toxic traits. You know, nowadays, this generation we live in, they glorify being toxic. But let me tell you guys what being toxic is. It just means someone who has demons in them. People glorify them being toxic. They're glorifying their demons. That's what it is. Okay. And whenever you get confusion, that's also a red flag too, because God is not the author of confusion. So that means Satan's behind that. When someone's always confusing you, they're saying one thing and doing the opposite, that is a red flag. Pay attention to the signs. Also, this is not in order. Number 2 would be this is a key. This video is gonna be a gem, guys. Someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to hear this, man. They keep bringing up their ex or talking bad about them. Okay. If someone keeps bringing up their ex, let's say if you're not mentioning their ex, they just keep bringing up their ex, that is a red flag. That means they still have a soul tie with that individual. Their mind is still on the past. Their mind is still on another individual. Maybe, and most of the time, they're still talking to that person, or they're still stalking their page. They're still connected to that person. You don't want to grow. You don't want to build with someone like that, someone who's still stuck in the past. Because they could also, who knows, maybe the ex-boyfriend or the ex-girlfriend, they might change their mind and they might get back together because they have a stronger bond than you do, because you just met that person. Maybe they were in a relationship together for years, so they're gonna pick them over you. Okay. And because sometimes that's all they know. And especially if someone's talking bad about them, someone's talking bad about their ex, that's pretty much them exposing themselves. When someone's always talking about, but my ex was a narcissist, everyone says that nowadays, my ex was a narcissist. Well, he was a narcissist and you were an angel. Nah, it doesn't work like that. In life, you attract what you are. So if he's a narcissist, because you had narcissistic traits as well too. That's how it is most of the time. Okay, so people expose themselves. When someone's talking down their ex, guys, that's a red flag. Red flag. You gotta pay attention to all the red flags. They keep bringing up their ex, red flag. They keep talking bad about them, red flag. Okay, if you guys got out of a bad relationship, it's time to heal. Spend some time with God. A couple months, and not forever, just a season. Isolate for a little bit. Heal. Healing takes time. A lot of people, they're not trying to heal, so they keep on repeating these patterns and these toxic relationships, and they keep on lacking accountability, and then they keep on blaming their partner, and they never grow. Get other people to justify their bad behavior so that they'll never grow in life. So when someone's always talking bad about their ex, or just even bring them up in the first place, because when you're building with someone, especially as a man, we don't want to hear about what the ex did. We don't want to hear about that. So that's a red flag, as I'm telling you. A lot of times I didn't take heed. I did not take heed. And I learned the hard way. So yeah, this is number 1 red flag. And always, they still had a soul tie with the last person. Number 3 would be, you have a bad feeling. And God warns you, because we're children of God. Us who are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. God's gonna warn you. Whenever you get a bad feeling, like you were thinking things were good, right? And then God starts to warn you. God puts in your spirit, he puts into your soul, he puts in your mind, like, dang, like this person is not sent from him. God will warn you, man. He always warns us. We don't listen. We don't hearken to wisdom. We don't hearken to understanding. We don't hearken to the voice of God. And because we now we suffer. Now we, disobey. Now we suffer. Now we get punished. Just like when we disobey our parents, we get punished. Same thing with God. You disobey God, God will allow them to hurt you. God will allow them to mess up your life. He will allow them to do that because you don't listen to him. So God gives you over to the enemy. So always be obedient. Obedience, obedience, obedience. I'm telling you guys, God will allow your enemies to destroy you if you disobey him. Facts. Now, God, he's merciful. He's patient. He's not going to let them go instantly. He's not going to let them destroy you instantly. But if he keeps on warning you over and over and over again, 3 strikes, you're out. Just like on YouTube. You got 3 strikes, you're out. Same thing with God. You got 3 strikes, you're done. He's going to warn you multiple times, and eventually, enough is enough. Enough is enough, man. So always understand that. Number 4. Ooh, this is a jam. Ooh, this is a jam. They flake on dates, and the plans don't go through. There's a reason, guys. Remember, God's if they reject you, that's God's protection. Always understand that. Always. So when they start to flake on dates that they planned, okay, or maybe plans that, plans don't go through for whatever reason. This happened to me so many times, and I was wondering. I was like, wait, what the heck? What happened? All of a sudden, they were so excited to meet me, so excited to chill, and all of a sudden, something happened. Okay, most of the time, guys, and then looking back years later, months later, I see, I understand, where God leveled me up and they're still doing the same thing. I understand why things didn't work out. So that's God warning you. These are signs, bro. These are all signs. Hearken to the voice of wisdom. Hearken to the voice of God, man. So when they flake on dates, okay, now, not every time, I said, obviously, not every time someone flakes on a date. Sometimes things do pop up. But most of the time, in my experiences, guys, it was just God's protection. They flaked on a date and then we never saw it. We never talked again. We never hung out again. That's God's protection, man. So same thing when plans don't go through. Same thing, or that's not the same thing, because flaking is like, most of the time it's intentionally. Plans don't go through, that's God's protection. Remember, every time someone rejects you as a child of God, that is God's protection. Number 5 is you pray and the answer is no. Now, when you pray, right, this you got to pay attention now. You got to pay attention. When you pray, guys, you got to pay attention, and the answer, and God will show you. Now, God will put it in them to hurt you. God will put it in them to give you, like, wait, what the heck? Like, he'll put it in them to give you red flags. You prayed, right? Now, of course, God's gonna answer your prayers. Most of the time, it's no. Truth be told, it's sad, but most of the time, it's no, guys. If they're not on the narrow path, if they're not denying themselves daily and picking up their cross and following Him to the best of their ability, are they gonna be perfect? No. Are they gonna be without sin? Of course not. Okay, obviously, I gotta say this because there's always that one person, but they at least are trying to. They're trying to, walk in the Spirit. Okay, that's the type of people you want. You want the people who are, denying themselves, people who are really Christians, really followers of Christ. That's the type of people you want in your life. Okay, the people who are like lukewarm, double-minded, they're gonna be a stumbling block into your life. Especially if you're on fire, God's not gonna allow you to be with them, guys. He's not going to. Living proof of that. Living proof. Because God has a special call in your life. You're chosen to do something great. You can't just be with everybody. You're not for the streets. And the people of this world, not all of them, but most of them, they're for the streets. They're for everybody. But you being the chosen one, you being an anointed one, you being God, you being a person who fears God, you ain't for everybody, man. And you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay with that. And when you get older, when you get wiser, when you get same thing, you're gonna understand. Oh, I understand now. Okay, understanding is a wellspring of life to him who has it. Woo! All right. Number 6 would be, I have one at number 8. Actually, I'll just finish this one. Number 6 is conflicts and arguments early on. Now, of course, it's not going to always be smiles and stuff like that, but when you start to get conflicts and arguments within the first week or within the first month, that's supposed to be like the honeymoon stage or whatever they say, right? But when you start to get this early on, red flag, that's a sign, that's another sign from God. This is not normal, guys. This is not normal at the beginning. Now, maybe you guys might have different views on like politics, different views on like government or religion. I don't know, something like that, right? And the Bible does say, how could 2 walk together except they be agreed? So you can't be with someone, guys, if you guys have different faith, different belief systems, not just with God and stuff like that, but with other, like I say like, you're, I don't recommend anyone. Well, I'm not going to say that, but let's say like, you're a Republican, they're a Democrat, right? And I know someone's gonna be like, well, Mark, I already know, like, that's like, doesn't matter. I know, I'm just using an example, okay? The Bible says, how could 2 walk together except they be agreed? So if you guys have different agreements, different beliefs, now sometimes people can have different beliefs and they still could get together. That's a rare case, but most of the time, it's gonna cause conflict. You wanna have someone, guys, who matches your vibe, who matches your spirit, all right? Who matches, what type of frequency you're on, all right? And when you're set apart, that's the highest frequency you could be on this physical plane. You want to have someone who's also set apart too. If you're set apart, of course. So if you start to get conflicts and arguments early on, guys, red flag, man. All right, so number 7 is Ooh, this is deep. This is what the narcissist does, right? They love, this is deep. This is deep. They love bomb you early on, and when things don't work out, they're in another relationship. Ooh. They love bomb you early on. So what does that mean? They gas you up. They say all these sweet words of the mouth of the strange woman drips as a honeycomb. They tell you everything you want to hear, right? You're the best I ever had, all this type of stuff, right? You're a king, you're a queen, whatever, right? They tell you all this type of stuff, and you think that, dang, this person really likes you. And for whatever reason, maybe you guys aren't together anymore. Let's say like a week, two, three, four, a month later, right? Now they're in another relationship with someone else. Okay, that's a sign from God that they weren't meant from you. That they were not meant to be in your life, all right? How can someone say all these type of things and then a month later, then another whole nother relationship? It's because everything they said was lies. They didn't really mean it. They were just trying to lead you astray, lead you on. You know, the smooth, the mouth that drips as a honeycomb. Okay, so when this starts to happen, guys, and rejoice. Don't be sad. When you see them else in a happy relationship or, you know, whatever the case may be, don't be sad. Be happy. That's God's protection. They're not meant to be in your life. And trust me, in due time, the girl or the guy you're gonna get next is gonna be that comes from God is gonna be way better than them. I'm telling you, 100%. So don't be sad, don't be depressed when that happens, because it might happen. Okay, and when you start to see them, you know, love bomb. That's when someone loves bomb you in the beginning. It's okay to, you know, feel good and you know, wanting to be with someone who likes you, but don't let it gas up your ego. Don't take it to, don't invest too much in that. Be happy, thank you, stuff like that, but don't, because this, if you attach yourself too much to the love bombing, and then when they betray you, it's gonna hurt even more. So just be like, oh, thank you. They don't take this too hard, guys. This is what the narcissist does. All right, they love bomb you, and then a couple weeks later, they're in a whole new relationship. It's like, what the heck? Everything you said to me was false. Okay, counterfeits, fakes. And people were asking me, Mark, can you move at the signs? So at the end of my videos, guys, I'm always gonna show you from right here. I'm gonna go over a summary. All right, these are 7 signs God is protecting you from bad relationships. I was going to put number 8 as confusion, but I guess that's ties to number 1. So number 1 is, you notice red flags early on, and they start to cause confusion. Okay, this is one of the number 1 red flags. Number 2 is they keep bringing up their ex and talking bad about them. Or whether, if they're not talking about bad, then whatever, but they keep bringing up their ex, is still a red flag. Number 3 is you have a bad feeling, and God warns you, which is tied to having a bad feeling. Number 4 would be they flake on dates, and plans don't go through. Number 5 is you pray and the answer is no. And how do you know when the answer is yes or no? You got to pay attention. Pay attention. Be patient. Long suffering. Number 6 is conflicts and arguments early on. Now, of course, when you're in a relationship, like, you know, months later, you're gonna have conflicts, arguments. But when you get it early on is supposed to be the honeymoon stage. It's supposed to be the lovey-dovey stage. So when you start to get this early on, bro, that's not good, man. Number 7 is they love bomb you early on, and when things don't work out, they're in another relationship. So they could tell you all these sweet, kind words in the beginning, and then 2 weeks later, they're with a whole nother dude or a whole nother woman. Okay, so understand this. These are the signs of God. You can screenshot it right now if you want to. Move right there. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you wish to support me, my link's in the description below. All right, have a blessed one. I'm out. Peace.